Hello everyone, I am Liz Costanzo, the Pre-K-12 Social Studies Instructional Systems Specialist located at headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia. The DoDEA College and Career Standards for History and Social Studies are the standards we as social studies educators in the Department of Defense Education Activity guarantee to our students. Beginning in 2014, the Department of Defense Education Activity updated its expectations on how K-12 social studies curriculum is taught. The changes are meant to increase the rigor of instruction and better prepare our students for life as civic-minded citizens. The 2018-2019 school year is the first year of full implementation of these standards in grades 6-12 social studies. Let's start with the story of our standards. First, K through 5 standards will not be implemented until the 2020-2021 school year. As you know, our elementary teachers teach 4 different curriculums. So far, they've added new math standards, science standards. The next year will be ELA, and then finally with social studies. So our story in social studies actually begins in the elementary school, but right now we're going to take it from 6th grade. So just keep in mind that in grade 5, starting in 2020-2021, the focus there will be on the Western Hemisphere. But right now, let's talk about 6th grade. The story for 6th grade is the Eastern Hemisphere, focusing on present-day geography and then taking a look at the historical perspective. Our 6th grade Eastern Hemisphere curriculum is actually connected to our high school curriculum in global studies. So when the students are in grades 9 and 10, they will take Global History and Geography 1 or Global History and Geography 2. So we start the story in grade 6, and then we bring it back again in grades 9 and 10, focusing on both the global history and geography of the area. And we also embed economics and practices in here as well. This other story that we tell is the story of United States history. And that story begins in grade 7, and it continues through grade 7, 8, 11, and 12. We begin that story in the 7th grade with Native people through the Civil War. Then 8th grade picks it up from Reconstruction and goes to the present, also looking at the geography and economics of the time period as students delve into United States history really for the first time. Then in grade 11, we revisit United States history. In our grade 11 course, the students will begin at First People, and they will go to the present. And our teachers in grade 11 are not only emphasizing United States history, but they're really focusing on those historical underpinnings of the United States government, which then connects us into grade 12. And grade 12 is United States government really focusing on participation, which is a change from the previous way that we have looked at United States government. So that's our story. We have a world history story, we have a United States history story that also encompasses geography, economics, civic, citizenship, and government, and those stories are the through line of our content for grades 6 through grade 12. In addition to our content through lines, we also have the disciplinary literacy standards of reading, writing, speaking, and listening that are very important to how we teach our students to understand our discipline. We also have the College Career and Civic Life, or the C3 framework, and the Inquiry Arc, which we explored in our last module. Just a reminder, this came out in 2013 through the National Council of Social Studies. It consists of the Inquiry Arc, disciplinary literacy, and civic life. And all 3 of these components influenced our standards for history and social studies, especially the inquiry approach to student learning. Through an inquiry-based approach, students develop thematic and conceptual understandings while applying disciplinary practices and literacy skills in the context of content. Very important if we want our students to be successful in college career and, of course, in civic life. Another important aspect are our social studies practices, and this is where we really promote the idea of teaching our content through skills. So our students will be gathering and interpreting and using evidence. They'll be utilizing chronological reasoning, and causation. They'll be working with comparison and contextualization, geographic reasoning, economics and economic systems, and civic participation as part of our social studies practices. The DoDEA College and Career Ready Standards for History and Social Studies incorporate rigorous content taught through disciplinary literacy, historical thinking skills, and social studies practices to promote student inquiry and active citizenship. Social studies, as you know, directly equips students with the foundational knowledge and skills that are necessary to understand and ask important questions in a rapidly changing world. Social studies can inspire the minds and hearts of young citizens to deeply engage in their local, state, national, and global communities as agents of change. In this way, DoDEA Social Studies supports the moral imperative of our schools to prepare educated and engaged citizens, which is the heart of a healthy democracy. So now I'm going to ask you to just take one more look at our standards as we move forward today. And as you're looking at the standards, you're going to do the activity that follows this video. Thank you.